Hello students, today we are going to continue with the second chapter, that is land resources, from our social studies geography section. In the first part we understood how land is used in India, how land is distributed in our country and how land is acquired by the government. In this part we are going to study the following topics, which includes soil distribution in India, land degradation and conservation, which includes land degradation and poverty, and land management. Let's start with the first topic, which is soil. Soil is the most important component of land resource. It is the thin top layer of earth in which vegetation grows. Soil is formed by the weathering of rocks. Over time, water and temperature fluctuations gradually break the rocks into smaller pieces. The fine particles of rock mix with the remains of plants and animals. Over a long period of time, this mix gets converted to soil. Plants get their nutrition from the soil. Animals and other living creatures depend directly or indirectly on plants for their food. Apart from its role in providing nutrition to living things, soil is also used for making bricks, utensils, toys, tiles, etc. Most rural houses have walls and floors plastered with soil. If you observe the foundation of a house or a well while it is being dug, you can see that the soil is spread in layers. These horizontal layers are called soil horizons. These horizons can be divided into three parts: organic layer, mineral layer and bedrock layer. Organic layer. This is the topmost layer in which O and A are included. The O layer contains humus, which is the decomposed remains of plants and animals. Below this is the A layer, which is the mineral layer. The A layer is influenced by the O layer, which is why it is also rich in organic material. The thickness of the organic layer varies greatly. It is thickest in the lower areas of river valleys. Second, mineral layer. This middle layer consists of the B layer. It contains very little organic matter. The particles in this layer are also much larger than the soil particles in the organic layer. The roots of only those plants reach this layer that go deep. For example, the roots of a tomato plant remain in the organic layer, but those of a mango tree reach the mineral layer. The third is the bedrock layer. This is the lowest layer and includes the C and R layers. R is the lowest layer consisting of unweathered rock, which break up to form that C layer that consists of broken rocks. You can observe these three layers of soil in this diagram. In India, 6 different types of soil are found, which are: first, alluvial soil; second, black soil; third, red and yellow soil; fourth, laterite soil; fifth, arid soil; and the last, forest soil. Let's talk in detail about this type of soils. 6 types of these soils are commonly found in India. The main soil type is the alluvial soil that spreads across the river plains. This soil is very fertile and most suitable for agriculture. Most of Chhattisgarh land area is covered by red and yellow soil. Red soil is formed by the weathering of ancient metamorphic rocks in the Deccan Plateau. It gets its red color from its high iron oxide content. The yellow color comes from the hydration of soil chemicals. Black soil is found in India's western states. This soil is suitable for cultivating cotton, wheat, etc. Black soil is made of very fine particles that have a very high moisture retention capacity. Laterite soil is found in the states where the monsoon rains are heavy. This soil develops in areas that experience high temperatures and high rainfall. The heavy rains leach, that is, wash away the fertile elements from the soil. The humus content of this soil is also low, which is why large quantities of fertilizers are needed to grow crops in this soil. Other soils include the dry or desert soil found in Thar Desert and the forest soil of the Himalayan range. In this map, You can see how different type of soils are distributed across our country. You can see the Chhattisgarh has red and yellow soil in most of the areas. The Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra areas are mostly covered with black soil. Similarly, the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Delhi, Haryana and up to Punjab area are covered with alluvial soil. The last topic of this chapter is land degradation and conservation. We have inherited our land from our ancestors. We need to hand over this land to the next generation in good condition. Humans can improve or degrade land through their activities. How do we assess the quality of land? One measure could be how much vegetation or animals the land can support sustainably. This capacity will vary from place to place. It cannot be same for a desert and an evergreen forest. When this capacity of the land to support life decreases, we say the land is degraded. For example, if the land is covered by sand after a flood, no vegetation grows. This land is degraded because plants and animals cannot get their nutrition from it like they got earlier before the flood. Human activities can lead to land degradation in many ways. When we plow dry land or land with a high gradient, that is steep slope, the wind and water erodes the loosened soil, leaving behind only large-sized particles and pebbles. The land then becomes unfit for pasture or agriculture. Desert subsoil has a high salt content. Canal irrigation in a desert area causes the salts to dissolve in the water and rise to the top to form a hard crust over the soil. Plants cannot grow on this crust. This is also an example of land degradation. In Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh, large tracts of agricultural land are irrigated. Flood irrigation causes waterlogging, which leads to salinization of the soil. In the dry areas of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, excessive grazing is the main cause of land degradation. Grazing more livestock than the land can support destroys not just the grass and other vegetation but also exposes the soil, which gets degraded because of wind erosion. In open cast mining, the topsoil is removed and a large pit is dug to extract minerals. After the mining operations end, the land has large pits with debris strewn all over. It is unfit for agriculture or any other use. This is another example of land degradation. Mining is one of the main causes of degradation of forest land in Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha. Another way in which land is degraded is by grinding limestone for the cement industry and talc for the clay pottery industry. Huge amounts of fine dust particles are carried by the winds and settle on nearby land. This particle layer prevents the soil from absorbing water. In the last few years, the discharge of contaminated water by industries has also caused water and land pollution in various parts of India. It is estimated that about 13 to 19 crore hectares of land in India are currently degraded. Of this, around 28% is degraded forests, 56% is water eroded, and the rest is wind eroded or saline. About 4.8 lakh hectares of land is degraded in Chhattisgarh. This is 35% of the state's total land area. The cause of degradation is mostly water erosion and acidification of soil, which affects crops. Acidification can be controlled by adding lime to the soil. In Durg, Janjgir, Korba and Raipur districts, mining has caused land degradation. There are many ways of tackling land degradation. Afforestation and pastures can address the problem to some extent, especially on land that is no longer suitable for agriculture. Similarly, ensuring proper irrigation according to the water holding capacity of the land can help prevent waterlogging and salinization. The topic land degradation and conservation contains two subtopics, which are as follows. First is land degradation and poverty. The poorest people in the country depend on degraded land. They either rear livestock on the land or are marginal farmers and tribes who practice subsistence agriculture. They have no other livelihood options, so they continue to farm poor quality infertile land. This causes the land to degrade even further. But because of their poverty, these farmers cannot take up measures to improve their land. They find themselves trapped in a vicious cycle of poverty and land degradation. The next subtopic is land management. Land is a fixed resource while population keeps growing. Our needs also keeps increasing as our lifestyle evolves. More and more people from the villages are migrating to urban areas. This affects our land resources. Colonies and factories are built on fertile, cultivable land, while forests are cleared for agriculture and mining. All this leads to stress on our land use. The following methods can be adopted to ensure good land management. First, planned development of towns and villages. Our villages and towns are growing and encroaching upon agricultural land. Unused land is also available within urban areas, so if there is proper planning to develop towns and villages, this problem can be handled better. Second is use of barren land. Barren land can be used in two ways. First, it can be used for non-agricultural activities. The second option is to improve the land for agriculture or pasture development. This will help to expand the acreage under agriculture while reducing the extent of wastelands. The third measure is the use of fallow land. Fallow land, especially old fallow, can be used for agriculture or horticulture. This will improve productivity and help in restoring the fallow land. Forest conservation and afforestation is the fourth measure. Forests are a resource that takes many years to regenerate, so forests should be used in a planned and systematic manner. Fully grown trees should be harvested only to the extent that they can be replaced. The fifth measure which can be adopted is controlling soil erosion. Erosion, waste deposition and the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides are leading to soil depletion. This reduces the fertility of the soil and decreases the productivity of agricultural land. Hence, controlling soil erosion will help increase in productivity. The last measure which can be adopted for better land management is using land around our homes. Quite a lot of land lies unused outside homes in villages and urban neighborhoods. This land can be put to productive use. For example, it can be used for cultivation of seasonal plants and vegetables. Therefore, in this chapter, we completed the topics such as soil distribution, land distribution, and how land degradation and its conservation can be done. Thank you.